Myles Garrett signed a $40 million per year deal back to the Cleveland Browns. Congrats to him.
My God.
Okay, that's a lot of fucking money.
Change of heart.
That is a change of heart money. I do wonder, Nicole Lynn, his agent, who we've reached out to, hopefully, absolute beast. Absolute beast, Nicole Lynn. I've reached out to her about joining our show to talk about how this came together. She said she would like Myles to be the first person to talk about the deal, and then she would obviously enjoy. Myles isn't her only client, and if you are with Nicole Lynn, you are going to get the bag. I mean, that is Mulugeta, Nicole Lynn, Rosenhaus. They're starting to become a separator in who's who in the agency world. $40 million a year for a game record. I don't think anybody expected that. Now, we all know the story. Myles came out and said, I ain't doing it anymore. I seen Joe Thomas. I'm watching Batonia. Mm-hmm. I see these Browns fans. They're so loyal. They're so great. They fucking stink. This team sucks. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to be known as a guy that was just really good at football and then never won. I want to win. I want to have some relevancy. I want to dance under confetti sometime. I want to experience the biggest stage. I want to be a Super Bowl champion. And you can't blame him for saying that. You can obviously appreciate and respect the competitor that he is for saying that. And then, Andrew Berry came out, the general manager for the Cleveland Browns, and he said, there's no world where Myles Garrett is not going to be a Cleveland Brown. End of story. Then Myles Garrett said, I want to talk to the owner. I want to talk to Haslam. Haslam said, I ain't got time for you, buddy. Okay? You're going to have to go talk to Andrew Berry. There's a bureaucracy here. So we thought it was ugly. We thought it was going to be nasty. And then we open our phone and we see, holy hell, Myles Garrett said, yeah, if they're going to give me $40 million, if it's going to be $40 million a year, I will. I guess go Browns. Go Browns.
Yeah.
None of us have any idea how they're going to be able to win with how much money they're giving to Deshaun Watson and how much money they're giving to Myles Garrett. And obviously, this is something that Andrew Berry and that team's going to have to figure out with some salary cap gymnastics, like how do they even field a team at this point. But Howie with the Eagles has been able to showcase that you can pay a lot of people. Now, this is a different level of money at a different position that I don't think we expected to get to 40 just yet. 35 is where Max Crosby was.
Yeah.
Now it jumps up to 40. What does this mean for TJ and Micah and Trey Hendrickson and Aiden Hutchinson, I guess, who is certainly in negotiations? It means it's good news for them. I don't think any team is going to match what the Cleveland Browns did here, just like with what happened after Deshaun Watson's new deal. But this certainly sways it in their favor in negotiations. So congrats to all parties, and congrats to Myles being like, $39.5 million. You go over that per year, I'll come back and get 40. I don't want to win. All right, fine. Let's go ahead and do it. But hopefully they win. Myles Garrett is a guy who can win games for you. Congrats to him. Congrats to all the defensive ends / pass rushers.
Yes, we just talked about kind of the hierarchy when it comes to who pay, why pay, the position, and if you can impact the passer, you're going to get paid the big bag. Now, $40 million, like you said, I don't think anybody jumps that this year. But I think some people will get close. Micah's there. TJ's in that conversation. Hopefully Hendrickson gets some respect. And you talked about big boy out there and Big Hutch out there in Detroit. But, yeah, this is crazy for Cleveland. Now, it got to hit on the quarterback. I think you're a quarterback away. Obviously, you always got to have that guy at the trigger man position. If they hit on the quarterback in this draft, I think they can contend pretty soon here.
Now, to be clear, you're going to get taxed if you're a shit team, okay, by players. You're going to have to overpay. And Cleveland had to overpay with Deshaun because Deshaun's people and Deshaun said, we're not going to Cleveland. We're going to go elsewhere. So then they come back over the top with a ridiculous offer. And Deshaun's like, okay, if they're going to $230 million guaranteed, yeah. Fully guaranteed contract, yeah. Okay, I guess we have to do that. Same thing happens here with Myles. Bad teams sometimes are going to have to overpay. That is just a matter of fact whenever you're thinking about players, great players, legacies, you name it. This is an absurd number. We assume pass rusher is going to get to this number at some point. It's here now. Congrats to Myles. Once again, can they win? We have no idea. That's a lot of money to go to a pass rusher, but you're going to give that money to somebody. Why not give it to a guy that can take over a game? Now, does he take over every game? No. Do the Browns win a lot of games with him on the team? No. Does that mean they'll be different next year? Maybe. We have no idea how this goes down, but congrats to Myles getting life-changing cash for not only he, but the rest of defensive ends.
Well, and what we talked about before, like quarterback is the number one position to get paid, and then the position we listed right after is pass rusher. So it does make sense that he's getting that much money. To D-But's point, getting that rookie quarterback right, having that contract for a little bit might kind of cancel this out. But another thing people pointed to immediately was Duke Tobin over the weekend saying Jamar Chase, he's going to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. Then this deal comes out, and now you wonder if the Bengals are like, okay, shit, now we might be screwed. We might have to move on from, T. Higgins, because a lot of people are thinking they're going to be able to pay both of them. But if Jamar's going to fetch, $40.1 million, then maybe not.
Yeah, and T and Jamar both knew that what Duke was saying was probably just, a little capping.
He's capping?
He's a little capping out
Okay.
there. Probably a little bit of
We'll
capping.
see.
Ideally, he said we want to do this. If Jamar gets $41 million a year or $40.1 million a year at wide receiver, I mean, okay, makes sense. How do they go about the rest of the roster? That is up to Duke Tobin. This does affect immediately the Pittsburgh Steelers and T.J. Watt, who's seemingly next in line with the contract deal. $40 million is the going rate. What do you think Omar Khan does with this? They just paid $30 million a year to a wide receiver who's done nothing for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Correct.
Would they pay T.J. $40 million a year for carrying the Pittsburgh Steelers whenever he's playing football? We shall see, TBD.
Yeah, it's crazy because, Max got that 35 and then Myles gets the 40, and you would think TJ would be closer to that 40 because he is in that Myles category as far as sacks and pressures and Defensive Player of the Year awards and things like that. So you would think he would be closer to that 40. TJ's going to be 31 in this upcoming season, so 40 million a year, that is crazy to think, but the cap is going up so much every single year, and Omar Khan is a wizard. I think it's something that they can get done. I think they have to get done. I mean, he's a legacy Steeler player. I don't see a situation where they're going to trade him or let her walk or whatever. But JJ was on the show last week and said, the Steelers could have got this deal done last year for a lot less, which, we are starting to hear that a lot. There was a tweet about the Bengals getting their deals done a year earlier. I think we're seeing more and more the Eagles get done with their players a year earlier. It pays. Actually, it saves money to pay guys early rather than later.
Yeah, it pays to save.
Bingo.
And to save, you got to do it earlier.
Yes.
And get your deals done. That is seemingly the kind of thread about this particular offseason and free agency frenzy.